We complain about the state of the world and society as if we weren't a part of it. Brace yourselves, you may not be ready for this. In this video there's going to be some self-accountability a lot of us have been cowarding from. You don't have to be a genius to see that social media has made our whole etiquette and moral system wrong. Our manners and our politeness is out of the window. We are rude to each other. We pretend that we can just say what we want and walk away because somebody's there to defend us, the police, the government, whatever. However, and that's fine, you know, it wouldn't be good if the strongest person would just be a tyrant over everybody else. However, what does that make of the weaker people? Because the weaker people are arguably the people with the most mental problems. If you are stronger, for example, and you know how to fight and all that stuff, you don't need to prove it to anyone and you're not going to go out looking for fights. But if you are an aggressive person, you have no self-discipline, you will look for these things. Now, what's more likely, a professional UFC fighter to get into a fight at a bar, or a random nobody that just gives into his vices and that has no self-discipline, that drinks, that smokes, all that stuff, to get into a fight? Well, the answer is clear, it's a rhetoric. Well, there has been a transition in the way that we conduct ourselves with strangers in the world. It started with social media. We started talking shit because, of course, we can't punch the screen, and I could say to you, well, I don't like your nose, you're fat and you're ugly or something like that, right? And then what are you going to do? Nothing, because I am on this side and you're on that side. You can't do anything. But that's very cowardly and that's very weak. Do I need to do something like that? Me, I don't know. I train martial arts and I go to the gym. I'm very athletic. I could beat up the average person easily. How would it benefit my self-esteem or my own ego to just overpower somebody else with words online, a stranger? It wouldn't, because on day-to-day or normal basis, on my normal human interactions, I don't need to overpower anyone like that. I am fine with myself. I learn things so that I can be more comfortable with myself. But there's going to be people that aren't comfortable with themselves. There's going to be people that are insecure and that lack the self-discipline to say, you know what, I'm going to do something about it. And I'm going to get my ass in the gym, I'm going to get my ass, sparring and all that stuff, to the point that I become more proud of myself. To the point that I'm more comfortable with who I am. Because these people lack the discipline to do such a thing, they will instead, walk around life and maybe a little micro interaction with somebody made them feel weaker and puny, so now they say, oh, God, I hate myself. And then they go online to see something they don't like, and they've been doing it constantly, so now they've trained themselves to think this way. They voice their opinion, they talk smack. For what purpose? To make themselves feel better. However, the lack of mannerism, politeness and all of that is going into the normal world, and people are just, it hasn't happened to me yet, but when I see videos online of people screaming each other's faces like that or insulting, it's kind of weird. Like, if you get to the point where they're like almost spitting in your face, I don't know, I can't imagine myself not just nonchalantly, throwing a smack, and not in like a I'm angry, I'm not in control of my emotions, but rather, hey, calm down, man or woman, what are you doing? Chill. It's very strange. We've grown very comfortable with disrespect, and I don't like it. The message I want to give with this video isn't to become strong, to terrorize the mediocre and whatever. No, but to rather become a figure of guidance for those that need it. But first, before we dare to get into another person's way, into another person's home, we need to first tidy our own. Of course, damn bars. So what does this mean? Before I can help another person with lack of patience and such, I must first sort that out in myself. Otherwise I will run out of patience trying to teach that person. Become knowledgeable, become better in the things that you want to help others in. I wouldn't dare to speak about matters in which I have no idea on. I won't talk about self-governance if I haven't been trying it out to myself with different tests. For example, dopamine detoxes or lack of porn or stoppage of porn, whatever, and of the sort, or how to, get out of your shell and speak to people more openly. And look, I'm not some sort of meathead that's gonna say, oh, get big, go to the gym. No, you don't need to be physically strong as per se. You do need to be in good physical health. I think just the matter of the fact is that if you put yourself into a physical state under which you will be clearly defined tone, it will mean that you have the discipline to have a better diet, you know, not succumb to gluttony and all the sort, and you had the persistence of going to the gym over and over again to tone your body. You don't have to be muscular or anything, you don't have to be shredded. That's not needed. It's about the mental aspect of things. I would much rather have a society full of people with self-governance, but that weren't like strong or weak, than I got a society full of meatheads that didn't have any kind of substance to themselves. It's more important to build your character. And when you do exercise, be it, I would first of all actually recommend not the gym, but rather working with a team in a sport. You get a good body and you're learning a new skill rather than just chucking weight around. Of course, if you want to go into professional powerlifting, that's another matter, but I wouldn't recommend going to the gym by yourself just to get in good shape. That's not the optimal thing. I know not many people would say the gym's not the best thing, but I do. Now, of course, you may argue, well, what about all these tech titans or nerds or millionaires and billionaires that are in power and that are, you know, unstable mentally because of all these things? Firstly, if they are in such an advanced level, they wouldn't normally be, you know, so unstable because they had to really work hard to build something up. But there are some that are still bad people. Well, you are learning self-discipline as well as self-governance by making yourself better before you try to help other people. When you have more self-governance, you won't need all of these things that these people offer you, because you say, oh well, all of these Forbes billionaires, they are in control of the world, and I can't really live my life because of the wages and whatever, because I need their products which are the cheapest, but then I'm feeding them, and it's a cycle. No, you will realize once you become more powerful in yourself that everything is fine. Life, generally speaking, won't be so expensive if you do things right. I know that what I may be saying right now may trigger a lot of people. Look, I've been living by myself since I was 16. I know what I'm talking about. You can look for better places to shop your food. You can look for better places to pay your rent, like cheaper. And look, you can plan out different things. You could get in contact with your landlord to maybe say, hey, could I get more people in the house and then I'll split the bill. Look, you can do a million things if you're struggling financially and you are capable of understanding my words right now in this video. But of course, you must believe in yourself. My words may be triggering to those that are struggling, but do not let this mentality limit you, because yes, it is a mentality. I know what it's like to be hungry. I know what it's like to have a hard time, even when not. Anyway, when you have more self-governance and self-discipline, all of these titans or whatever, you won't fit into them, right? You won't fit them rather directly. You won't pay the product. You won't need to. I'm not telling you to boycott every corrupt person. I'm telling you to not directly support, be it in action, or do not be quiet, like muted by people that are weaker in themselves, weaker than they should be. Not weaker than you necessarily. I'm not saying, you know, survival of the fittest, be the strongest. I'm saying is, a lot of the times, these strong people that have discipline let other people that are weak, run their mouths. Don't let that happen. That is a lack of responsibility in your part. You are currently with greater power, so you have greater responsibility to lead, because we are part of this world as a community. We are part of this universe as a community. Whatever harms the neighbor harms the whole that we are. So, by helping the common good, you are helping yourself. Strive to be 1% better every day, and add me on Discord. Much love. Whenever you hear a snapping of the fingers, make sure that you fix your posture and you take deep breaths into your diaphragm from your nose. Enjoy the video.